McCann from the Telstra Business Centre, Adelaide North, with an update on how you can get access to exclusive offers and products for ABN holders. The Telstra Business Centre works with local businesses to help manage costs, improve efficiency and demonstrate the latest communication solutions. We understand you're busy doing business, so you'll get a dedicated account manager and we'll even come to you. Drop in to the Telstra Business Centre, Adelaide North, Port Road, Hindmarsh, or call 8241 8555 to see how your business can save. Telstra Business Centre, Adelaide North. It's how we connect.
The 5AA Breakfast Show.
It was McDermott's twin's birthday. He's got his head stuck in one of those cutouts, a body painted on a board, and then you put your head in, and there's these gorgeous little kids running around firing cream and jelly pies at him. And I have photographic evidence of this. He's been trying to keep it from me, ladies and gentlemen, but I have tracked it down.
Keith Conlon and John Keneally with Jane Doyle, Chris McDermott and Tim Ginniver. Weekday mornings from 6 on 1395. Adelaide's 5AA Interactive Radio. Text 1999 1395. Peter Godrey.
Skater, the truck drivers, sent through a text. Must be a full moon. You could be right, Skater. Thanks for that. Selwyn Manning's in New Zealand. Don't know if there's a full moon there, but Selwyn is. G'day, Selwyn.
Yeah, g'day, Peter. How are you?
Good. Yes.
I'll try and meet up to the standard of your last caller, I think, Peter. I'll give it a go, shall I?
There you go. Give it your best shot. All right. How's things over there this morning? Is it cold, warm?
Oh, it is. I heard you say before when I was listening to the stream that it's cold over in Adelaide in South Australia as well, right across. But it certainly is here. Blue skies up in Auckland, which is nice, and very, very chilly. In the park this morning, it's almost a frost in some of the lower lying areas. So
okay, out walking the dog, were you?
No, he's injured his leg. So.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Just really, you've adopted a greyhound, a former racing greyhound, is that right? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, his name's Jacko. He came from Australia. He was brought over to New Zealand to race at about a year old, but he broke his hock in a race after quite a string of wins, and so we adopted him. And he's really good, but he's so fast that he lost control in the backyard and hit a retaining wall on the weekend, and so he's had stitches and all sorts. So he's convalescing at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he recovers and hope he learns from it too.
It's the second time he's lost control and hit that same fence, so I might have to take the corner of it down or something.
Yeah. Or put some body armour on him or something, like the skaters wear.
All those old pads. Ninja Turtle things that you
exactly. That's it. That's the way to go. All right. Speaking of having tumbles and the like, John Banks. He was a member of the National Party at one point.
He was. Peter. That's very good. Yes. He was the Minister of Police at one stage in the national government back in the 1990s, and he's the leader of the ACT Party now. And some listeners, if they were following New Zealand politics, God forbid, but if they were doing that during the election campaign last year, they would have realised that there was some sort of weird deal that went on between the National Party and the ACT Party at that time, and the leader, John Banks, was embroiled in controversy with the New Zealand Prime Minister, John Key, over this taping of their conversation over a cup of tea.
That's right.
So it's been really the first quarter of this year has been a period of real discontent for the national-led government. It just does not seem to be ahead of its game. And for the last week, Peter, this issue with John Banks has bled on. And what it's all about is he's a minister in this national-led government. He's the ACT Party leader. Now, he's under pressure to stand down at the moment over claims that he accepted $50,000 in campaign donations from Kim.com. Now, he's the boss of Mega Upload, Kim.com. We also spoke on your bulletin a little while ago about how the FBI and the New Zealand police arrested Kim.com here in New Zealand at his mention on copyright breach charges. Now, that's all pending and going through the court. He's on bail at the moment, etc., etc. But the controversy around this, with John Banks receiving $50,000 in campaign donations from Kim.com, is not one by association. It's from the fact that the donations were written down as anonymous donations in the records that candidates have to file to the authorities, and that's a breach of the law in this way. So there are calls for John Banks to answer that the news media have had him on the phones, on television and things like that in interviews where he's, in the first instance, he replied, "Oh, I don't remember that. No," and taking that kind of line, just not a denial, but I do not remember, I do not recall. And then subsequent to this, there's evidence of, well, Kim.com has flown John Banks to his mansion in his helicopter from Auckland City. There's footage of him meeting John Banks down by the waterfront after a social event. There's video footage, CCTV footage of John Banks making a toast to Kim.com at Kim.com's birthday party at the mansion, etc., etc.
Okay,
and it's just bled on week and day after day all through the week. And a poll was put last night on the TV3 text poll, and 88% of those who responded said he should stand down.
He should, okay. So will he? I guess that is the $64 million question, isn't it? Or the $50,000 question in this case.
It is. Well, popularity in the polls certainly brings a certain degree of arrogance and resilience. The Prime Minister is saying, no, I'm not going to stand him down. That's the line that the Prime Minister has taken so far. And John Banks is trying to just weather the storm, knowing that the news cycle these days is very, very quick to turn over, but this one continues to consume his standing in the country, certainly, and it'll be an interesting thing. There's a complaint that has gone to the police for them to investigate this matter, and I guess their decision is pending.
Okay. So what would be the outcome if he was stood down? Would that have any ramifications for the national government?
Well, yeah, John Banks, the ACT Party only got about 1% at most in the polls. So you need 5% in the polls here to go in on a party list. John Banks won a candidate seat in Epsom after National kind of did a nod and a wink and kind of said to its normal voters in that electorate, look, you might feel sick doing it, but please go and give the ACT Party leader John Banks a vote for us. What it does is it helps prop up the National-led government in Parliament. Now, if John Banks has to stand down from Parliament, and if he was found to have wrongly filled out this form, then that is a possibility. Then there would have to be a by-election as a candidate. Now, that would be open, would National contest that in a serious manner with another ACT candidate in the electorate, or, is it going to go National's way? So it alters the proportion of the the ACT Party wouldn't have any representation at all in Parliament, and it would be the end of that. National would still be able to hold on to its position as government by the skin of its teeth.
All right.
That's about it. Yeah.
Do you think anything's going to come in shorter term? Is there likely to be some sort of resolution in the short term with this, or is it going to drag on and on?
It is going to drag on. This guy is. He made a political career out of being, I suppose it's fair to say, a pious type of approach to other people's behaviour. He was also, as Minister of Police, he was controversial where there was a case where a man was facing a murder charge, and John Banks, as Minister of Police, stood up in Parliament under privilege and said, this man has previous violent convictions, including rape. This is before he went to trial, which is obviously while they can get away with it in Parliament, it's against the law to do so outside of privilege. It's this type of thing that I guess some people remember and they think, well, John Banks, it's time for you to actually face the music again.
Okay. All right, let's move on to another topic. Online security and privacy. Kiwis have been warned about that they're open to some dodgy online privacy practices.
Yeah, that's right.
Is worrying for all of us.
This is something, that I think, may tweak the interest of some of your listeners as well, see what they think on it maybe. Kiwis, they've been warned by a British Telecom Chief Security Technology Officer, and he's been down in New Zealand giving a few lectures here. His name's Bruce Schneider. Now, he said that Kiwis, and most people around the world are now open to dodgy online practices that's relating to privacy. And he actually says he said in a speech, and it's reported in the New Zealand Herald, that he focused on Google at one point, and he says Google knows more about what I am interested in than my wife does. And he says,
that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? You know,
Wow.
and then he said, and it's all stored and searchable. You are not Google's customers. You are the product they sell to the customers. Now, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? You take all of your behaviour, all your information, your emails maybe even, you know, the Gmail ones.
Yes.
It's all within a big, you know, silo of data banks, et cetera, but that behaviour and practice is then on-sold to customers in some way, even if it's from market research kind of things, et cetera, But this shows you that the data that we are swapping in our individualities, if you like, is being traded by others that we probably do not even know that it's going on. You know, it's an interesting kind of concept.
It is indeed, and you know, with other things, I guess, like, you know, Facebook and how much they know about us, and you know, I guess we just need to look at the ads that appear down the side of the pages. You know,
Exactly.
they're going to be things that we like because they know that we like them.
We know, they know. It's very clever technology these days. He just before we bow out, Peter, he made another note here too, and he said the creation of data is the pollution problem of the information age. He said it's like a new industrial age, and we're going to be judged by our children on why we failed to deliver it. So that's a strong point, isn't it?
Indeed, it is, indeed.
Yeah.
Does this bring into concerns about, you know, the cloud, you know, the fact that we're moving towards storing all our data elsewhere, not on, you know, just not on your desktop PC anymore. It's out there in cyberspace somewhere.
And relying on those those companies that provide the cloud to keep it secure. So businesses and individuals, you know, they do need to check these things very carefully. There's another consideration too, that those companies that perhaps own the cloud, they may be bought out by another company at some stage. So then all of that information, the transfer, and your assets, if you like, transferred across to a new company as it purchases those assets. So, you know, this whole thing of data ownership is an individual. It's an interesting one. It's one of, I guess, individual choice on how much we protect ourselves from breaches of our own privacy and identity. And I suppose that identity is that interesting thing, and that's where that talk that British Telecom guy was going. How easy it is, even with all the safeguards, regulatory and via the law, for others to take our identities.
Indeed. On that note, Selwyn, we'll leave it there for another week. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Take care, Peter.
Thanks,
Bye.
Selwyn. Selwyn Manning. You can read more. Head to his website, livenews.co.nz, for more news from that part of the world. It's 29 minutes past 5, and Stone's got news, sport and weather next.
Peter the Possum Man.
He's Peter the Possum Man.
I'll catch all the pests I can.
It makes him a bigger man.
I'm Peter the Possum Man.
Keep your household pests at bay. Call Peter the Possum Man today. For inspection and advice, treatment and control of all pests, all suburbs, just get Peter the Possum Man on the job. Call 829 78000. Part of Adams Pest Control. With over 60 years experience, you can trust Adams Pest Control. Call now, 829 78000.